A while back, there's this movie, probably thought of as fairly sappy to a lot of people, and maybe it kind of was. Pay It Forward. And it's at least a good idea, if nothing else. Sometimes you got to take something for what it's worth. Sometimes that's all it's worth. Using a different stand here. It's not great. The issue is, these days, and I don't know if this will get flagged or something from YouTube or not. It's not exactly a curse word. But there's something I call piss it downwards. And that's what people appear to be doing. I'm just hoping that maybe what it is people aren't thinking about what they're doing. That they're extremely short-sighted. That's the only thing I can figure. Because I can't see how, like I have griped a lot about bathroom etiquette. I don't get how there's somebody, and I know you've dealt with it before. I know we've all seen this. You go into a public restroom, you go into the stall, and it's bad. So I'm not talking about somebody who was sick either. That's one thing. Even then, you should clean up after yourself. But I mean, there's nothing like that. It's nothing about being sick. They just dropped something there and just got up and walked away. Not their problem anymore. Toilet paper just kind of strewn all over. There's something sitting over here and just like, not my problem, and just walked away. I can't fathom that mindset. It's just, I guess it makes me feel kind of good about myself. I don't know how you would do something like that. And I'm hoping it's just people being short-sighted. You know, like another little thing that irritates me, and I think this is short-sightedness. You got these shelves where I work now. And generally speaking, decent people I'm working with. But there's this little thing right here that ticks me off. You got these shelves over here where people put their boxes and lunch and stuff like that. And they're different levels. You know, some of them are like this, some of them are a little bit taller, and just these typical like metal sort of wire, heavy duty wire shelves. And you can put the shelves different levels. And they are different levels. And because what I usually end up with for a lunchbox is a small cooler. Why? Well, because they go on sale. It's too small for people looking for a real cooler, and it's too big for people using it as a lunchbox. So I usually get those. And I've got two of those, and it's got to be on a certain shelf. And you'll have people with things this small on a shelf this big, and they'll have them spaced away from each other like this. So they have no choice but to move their stuff, which I hate. I don't want to touch somebody else's stuff. It's just short-sightedness. You'll look and somebody's box is in there crooked. You know, and then you got this shelf up above it completely empty where they can fit, but mine can't. And the short-sightedness is just obnoxious. Another thing, and I was thinking actually putting this on a different video, and I kind of probably might if I can accumulate enough stuff. It's kind of harmless, usually. But because I've had to deal with so much of when it does interfere with me, people backing into parking spaces. You know, it makes me so mad. Even if it's not, this is how mad it's made me and how much I've had to deal with it. Because even when it doesn't affect me, I'm looking across the parking lot pissed off at somebody. Because I know they would do that even if they're making somebody wait. You know, that's the funny thing about it too, because they're going to back in and everything. You know, and you're right here, I'm right there, and they're going to back in, and as they're backing in, they're turning like this right here, and I know I'm just glaring at them just because I'm waiting. You could just pull in, you could be in like that. Even if you're fast at backing in and good at it, and some people are, you can pull into a parking space like this. It's at best 5 times longer backing in. At best. Probably worse. Don't care. Just not thinking about the next person. Doesn't matter. I mean, I could do a hour-long rant just on the bathroom thing, though. I mean, you go in there. I've had this happen. This has been a little bit better since the whole COVID thing. It must have scared some people a little bit. I don't know. And this is honest. I'll just be honest with you. This is like 99% white guys. I mention that because, well, there's been people talk about this or that person, not do this or that, and have questionable hygiene. I'm telling you who actually does. Okay, what I've seen. I've been all over the place. 8 different states, or 8 states, and this state one end to the other. I've been in majority this and majority that. But it would make me mad when I go into a bathroom, fairly small one, but not enough for more than one person. And you go in there, you do what you need to do, and you're going to the sink. I'm over at the sink washing my hands because I'm not trash. I'm washing my hands. And as I'm going out, this other person has already went in and they're doing what they're doing. And they nearly run into me because even though they're using the toilet after me, since they skip washing their hands, they almost crash into me out the door. And I always have this flash in my mind, turn around and punch them in the face. And I've had this, almost this little thought in my head too, of I'm over there washing my hands, and you see somebody use the bathroom and then go straight for the door. And then you're instantly, as you look over, your eyes just kind of catch the doorknob that I'm going to have to touch. I'm over here washing my hands, and I got to touch that doorknob. And I'm not a germaphobe, but that pisses me off. And like I said, it's more that piss it downward thing. It's gotten to where I think part of what it is, I don't know if this is all of it, but I think part of what it is the establishment has taken the fear of leftism, like Marxism, communism, socialism, things like that, and they've really capitalized off of it, no pun intended, because now they're making it to where people just, the most capitalist thing, and it really is to not care about other people at all. Not at all. So any consideration is commie. So if you can just scuff your feet on people, that's completely fine. Don't share. Don't do anything to help people. Don't do anything to make anybody's life better. Because if you are, you're a commie. They're expecting handouts. It's like what I just saw. Something about drug testing for food stamp recipients. That makes sense for about a second until you actually think. Part of what it is a lot of people, and probably more conservatives than anybody else, has got this sort of default view of what the people are who are getting food stamps and benefits and things like that. And they have issues with them. And I don't know if it's a racial thing or it's a class thing. I don't know what it is. Can't be sure. It probably varies from person to person. But they have this idea, if nothing else, that this person that's needing this government help is just a lazy piece of crap and they're just sitting at home and not wanting to work. Several problems with that. Nobody should want to work except for what is relevant to their life. Doesn't mean you're not willing to, but if you have to, rather than cause somebody else to have to work and take care of you, doing something they don't want to do. Because where's the trade-off in that? Hey, you win, you're not having to do work that's irrelevant to your life and probably shortening your life, but because of that, somebody else is having to work and take care of you. I get that mindset. But the issue is a lot of people that are on government help work jobs. I know this one guy said something about, yeah, you should have to take a drug test if you're getting some kind of help you don't deserve or didn't work for. That's crazy. I mean, it goes with this mindset of you don't deserve to eat. And keep in mind, people only feel that way about other people. I mean, even some people that's not necessarily the most pro-animal people in the world. They wouldn't necessarily starve an animal out. A lot of people wouldn't. But if you're a human being unless you go and help make a rich person richer, it's over a corporation. It doesn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things, you know. And they're going to make fun of you for whatever job you have later. But unless you go do that, you deserve to starve to death. And it's getting more and more with them attacking homeless people. I know there's been laws passed now about camping out, homeless encampments, sleeping in your car. There's been laws, I think some of them have been passed in Tennessee. And they're being stricter, even stricter about the stupid mandatory auto insurance as well. Basically what it comes down to is you just want to go around and just start capping poor people, right? If they're sort of a burden to society, they're not contributing, you'd really like to just go around and just tap, 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 and just take them out, right? Because that's what it's coming towards. That's the direction it's going. And again, it's all in this piss it downwards thing. All for me, and whatever I leave behind me that you have to deal with, don't care. It's kind of like the George Carlin joke about flying through red lights. And I haven't hit anybody yet. I've had a few people behind me hit each other, but hey, that's back there. Me, I'm gone. It's kind of like that joke. It's supposed to be a joke. It is people's mentality. You know, it's speaking of cars, a thing that I used to call, and it does happen in other places too, but it happened a lot in Shelbyville, Tennessee. I called it the Shelbyville whip around. So imagine you got a 4-lane highway, turn lane in the middle. So it's technically 5 lanes. You got 2 lanes going that way, you got 2 lanes going this way. You're riding along in a lane. And some distance, fairly close ahead of you is a car. Up above them, in front of them is another car. You're driving along kind of daydreaming, you're all just kind of cruising. All of a sudden the car ahead of you whips around the car in front of them. And you have to slam on your brakes because the car ahead of them is turning. So rather than slow down to a stop with them, they never even hit their brakes. They just whipped around them and let you almost crash into the rear end of them. Piss it downwards. That's back there, I'm up here. Doesn't matter. And that's kind of what we got going on with these people. You look at the people in government. Ancient people. Some of them questionably even alive. And they're not going to be around much longer. Even best case scenario, they're not going to be around much longer. And they just can't let go of screwing people over who are young. And that's what's happened overall, just the grand scheme of things in this country, maybe on this planet, but certainly in this country. It's like I've said in another video, we have all this technology. We have all this automation, all this stuff that's going on. Think about now versus even 1990, 1980, 1970. You think about it. But we're working just as much, if not more, now. Things are tighter financially now. That doesn't make sense. Not logically speaking, it doesn't make any sense. People should have it pretty easy by now. As a matter of fact, a lot of movies, I just noticed the Soylent Green is supposed to take place in 2022. That was kind of strange. Maybe some of you knew that. I didn't. I've never seen it. But a lot of these older books and movies and things like that, they've had it in their mind that things are going to be so much more advanced than what they are. And I'm not even talking about like flying cars and things like that. Surely people could kick back a little bit. I mean, you look at these old movies and TV shows years ago. And maybe you've even just seen it in your lifetime. We're just driving along and people are just out sitting on their porch, just relaxing. People are out you remember a swing set? I'm not talking about the playground kind. I'm talking about this the bench swing. We're just sitting on the porch. Chase Lounge. You remember those? You know, we don't have much use for those anymore, do we? You don't get the chance. You know, you might like to have a pool at your house. When are you going to swim? You're mostly gone. Why is it like this? And it starts with us individually. I mean, it's not our fault the way the system has gotten, not us poor people, people with no power. But we can do our own part. And that's kind of what I've done videos on, about sort of subscribing to each other. You know, support each other. I think that's kind of the future, really. We've got to relearn manners, for one thing. It's gotten bad. I know a lot of people do videos about the South. Oh, they're so polite and all that. Maybe in some places and sometimes. I'm certainly not. I'm here for a reason. I'm here because I like it, generally speaking. But we've got to take it back some. And you can't say that about somebody thinking you're talking about, you know, Jim Crow and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we used to kind of have some sort of morals and ethics and concerns. You remember the whole trope about somebody going next door to borrow a cup of sugar, somebody bringing a casserole over, things like that. You remember that? Neighborhood kids, you know, play basketball together, hang out. What happened? We've got to bring it back. And like I said, it starts in here. You got to work on yourself. You got to be polite. You got to think of other people. You can't be short-sighted. And a lot of it doesn't even cost anything. Just little things throughout the day, try to brighten other people's day up as best you can. Little things. It hasn't got to be anything big. Do what you can do. And like I said, I think the future of it is that's going to really make society really survive, is we got to lift each other. We got to kind of carry each other. I mean, think about the things that we sort of throw money away on when we could be funding our neighbors. You know, I could do a whole video, and probably will, about how little it would take. You know, people have these Patreons and things like that. And subscriptions to, I don't know if they do this with YouTube once you get to a certain amount or not. But $5 a month, I mean, for me, my dream amount that I would feel wealthy doing, especially the more bills I got paid off, probably $60,000 a year. Not 600,000, not $1 million, nothing like that. Not 100,000, 60,000. Possibly even gross, but certainly net. And you know what that would entail? 1,000 people, the whole face of the earth, giving me $5 a month. Now, I'm just using myself as an example, okay? You think we could be doing this? Because it's from you, it would be $5. Wouldn't be $1,000, it'd be $5. And $5 for that person, $5 for that person. And that's if you can afford it. But we could actually be carrying each other. You know, there's a farm stand down the road. Go get stuff from them. Don't go to the, you know, big stores, these big corporations. Get something from them. Buy from each other. Trade. Barter. You remember how people used to trade comic books and things like that? We should get back into doing that. Can't tax that, can they? So I'm thinking we really need to get to, maybe we need to rewatch that movie, sappy as it may be. Maybe we should start paying it forward. Maybe we should start looking out for each other. Government's not going to. They're going to teach us to look out for each other. Not the way, not in a concerning way. Look out, they're out to get you. Same words, different meaning. I think it's time to start looking out for each other. Taking care of each other. Rebuilding a real community. And like I said, it starts with you. You can only do what you can do. You can't change other people. Do what you can do. Do your part. That's the only thing you can worry about. It's like the things that you may have been through in the past. You don't have to have regret for what other people have done to you. The only thing you have to carry is what you've done. And look at what you can do in the future. How you can be better. What'd you do today? What could you do better next week? It's kind of how I've advised. I'm not the best for giving health advice, but one of the ways you can really kind of start improving your life as far as diet and exercise goes is just simply kind of record, log what you do this week. Change nothing. Just log what you do. No, don't even try to be careful. And then next week you relook at every day and you look at little things you can do to improve it. Don't do this, do that. And then next week you improve upon that. That's the way that goes. One day at a time. 1 week at a time. So that's just the main idea about this, is beware the piss it downward mentality that's taken over, and let's get to the pay it forward. Let's get to the real love your neighbor situation. Let's build communities, and let's not let the government tear us apart.